It's your girl Nina Montañez.
Hey, yo, what it do? It's your boy Rue, and I'm coming for you. And this is
SofritoSpeaks.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome. What it is, mi gente? What's going on, everybody?
Buenos
How
dias,
y'all
damas y
doing? How y'all
caballeros.
doing?
Welcome to episode 6, season 5 of Sofrito Speaks.
I really can't believe. At this point, we always just stare at each other when we say what the season is and what the episode is because we really just don't know. We don't.
This
know
wasn't
what's going
supposed
on
to go
anymore.
past season 2. Let's insert that. No, just kidding.
According to Ruben, he was like, "Let's try this fun thing for a little bit," and then here we are, season
It's the
5.
ADHD. I want to give a shout out to all of our listeners because our plays have been insane. The analytics is going crazy.
I'm so here for it.
We're talking about triple digit plays higher than 150.
Within a week.
From season 1 all the way up until the last episode. So thank you guys so much. Our subscribers on YouTube, thank you guys so much.
What are we at? Like 100?
107.
First of all, I signed in one day and I was like, when did we get? Because I remember being at like 50. When did we
were
get?
at like 12 for a while.
For a while, we were stuck there.
But
and
the going visual, I think, has helped us.
No, for sure,
immensely.
for sure.
Plus, Miss TikTok Queen over here.
Dude.
But she has a lot to tell us. Let's get right into the first section, which is El Chisme, the part of the show where we let you know what had us fucked up or jodido the last 2 weeks. And walk us right into it, babes.
I'm going to start it off or whatever. So your girl got a promotion.
Yeah.
So when I told y'all I was going into this little job or whatever, I believe I said it maybe last season.
You wanted like less responsibility. No, I think you said in the beginning of the season of this one.
Of this one?
You wanted like less responsibility. You wanted something to just like.
Yeah, and then I was like, it's definitely something I could see myself growing in. And then once I saw the opportunity, I went for it.
As you should.
And I was awarded the opportunity.
As you should.
So I was like, you know what? I could definitely see me growing with this company. Which is kind of cool. So I'm now in a leadership role. It's still entry level leadership. I'll be working my way up, and it's fun because like I can relocate. I don't have to stay where I'm at.
Cute.
So essentially, I just want to get the experience, and then I can continue to look elsewhere. Like I'm talking other states and stuff like that.
Like I'm talking other states.
You know what I mean? So it's a thing. It's a thing. But I think one of the things that really has me fucked up right now and like switching in that mindset of being back in leadership is that I'm a natural born leader and I was trying to shy away from that, but it's innate. It's just gonna happen. Like it's just what it is. I can't even fight it anymore. So I never really shut it off. It was kind of like in sleep mode. And now it's like back on, and I'm kind of like, all right, what angle am I gonna come at this from? I'm trying to feel out my coworkers because now I'm on a new level. So I'm like, all right, I'm trying to feel them out, see like what part they play, right? What part they play in leadership, and what is their authority? What is their take on their authoritative figure within leadership? Just so that I can kind of blend it together, and like I'm not about to do this good cop bad cop bullshit. Like no. I need us to be cohesive. There's nothing worse than like when you have a certain stance on something and someone decides that they're in a really good mood and everything's all cookie cutter mop and glow. And it's not that I'm in a bad mood. It's just that pissed me off because I shouldn't have to tell you to do that because you know what you're supposed to be doing. And yet here you are being dumb. And then we have someone else that's coming in like, oh, but I mean, it's like whatever. Like stop distracting them. We need to get stuff done. Like what are we doing? You know, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm really not. I promise I'm not. But whatever, that's besides the point. What had me, that was a weak ass. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. It's super interesting to take on that role. In terms of like what had me fucked up. Not me getting called out. All right, guys. So remember that last time when I was like talking about that I got finessed into a date? So update, I went on it, but like I made it super clear that like it wasn't a date. We like went out to a bar, and we just like sat there. We talked for hours. Like it was just like good banter, back and forth, whatever. But like I I really shut off that part of my brain where I'm like, I'm just not interested in anybody right now. And I let old boy know that because he was like, so do I get a second date? And I also told him how he had me fucked up on Instagram when he was trying to like be funny and make that little stupid ass joke or whatever. So I let him know what was up. I was like, yo, I almost didn't show up because I thought your joke was whack. He's like, nah, I noticed a shift in your energy. Like the moment that I sent it, I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. And I was like, and you should have said that after you sent that. Like, my bad. Like, communicate that. You know what I mean? Or just whatever. And then he like asked, he's like, oh, so did I earn like, you know, can I see you again? I was like, yeah, but like, I just wanted to be abundantly clear. I am not looking to date right now. Like, I don't want to date anybody. Like, I don't have the mental capacity to entertain or introduce anybody to a vibe that I do not plan on maintaining. Yeah. And I don't. And I literally looked him dead in his face and I said, please do not take that as if it's a challenge I needed to be accepted. Don't play yourself. Like, straight up. He's like, damn, I really like how blunt you are. And I said, no. That's the problem. Is that you're gonna like that about me. And trust me, I know this because this has been my problem in the past. Dudes be like, oh, Nino would be mad cool as a friend, this, that, yada, yada, yada. And then you develop a crush on me. And I have to, we don't want to do that. We're just not gonna do that. Whatever. He was like, nah, I think you're cool enough. Like, if I was going bowling with my homies, like, I'd like to invite you to come. And I was like, oh yeah, like, sure, like, whatever. Venture out into like other friend groups, see like what's up. Like, I'm not like a shitty person. Like, I can be social when I want to be. I am fun to be around. It's just that I'm like more reserved than anything. But once I get comfortable, then like I'm cool. I'm good to go. But there's an update on that. And then he like, literally, like, he asked me one day, he was like, so have you talked about me on your podcast? I was like, oh yeah, season 5, episode 5. Tune in. I'm not gonna, like, the thing is that, like, people really, like, no one's exempt from, like, what I speak about. Like, I literally be on social media. I'm not gonna give, like, intimate details. I'm not gonna say a name. But if it had me fucked up, I'm gonna talk about it. Like, it's that simple. Unless you blatantly say to me, I better not hear that shit on your podcast. All right, we might rethink it and I might like revamp it so I can still talk about it, but it's going to be at a different level. Or you just better hope that something else had me fucked up that week and I just don't even care about your story. So I have something else to talk about. To be honest. But anyways, what about you?
Okay, so last time we met was the day before Valentine's Day. And on Valentine's Day, I matched with someone on Tinder. I went on a secret blind date with them, which wasn't a secret because I posted it all over TikTok, period. And it was a great time. And this person and we talked for, the remainder of the week. And then, men will be men. So it is what it is. What else had me fucked up? That's all I'm willing to share. I didn't get the job promotion.
Oh, damn.
Which was, it's a weird feeling because one thing about me is like, if you don't give me something that I know I'm worth, it's not going to bother me because I know my worth, So it's like, you're not going to make me feel, or you're not going to get me to be like, oh my God. Like when he gave me the news, like he asked me like, how do you feel about that? And I was like, it is what it is. Like, what do you expect me to feel? A job is a job, like, and it is what it is. What the fuck? I like my job. I still like my job. I have a very chill job. Yes, it can be stressful, but it reminds me a lot of like Starbucks without the crazy customers. So I like that aspect. Like you, I like to be a leader. I don't like to be under anyone's leadership because I feel like people are stupid and they do stupid things sometimes. So I'm like, why are we doing that? It's a lot of extra work.
I feel that.
One of my TikTok videos went semi-baby viral.
What?
Yeah,
it was the one about when you see the bitch that, yeah. I thought that one was mad funny, bro.
I was living. I was like, ooh, baby. So.
How many views?
8,000.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. Then I was like, oh, I'm on a different level now. Like, let me pin my top 3 viewed videos.
You're right.
But yeah, I've been super tired. I got the booster shot. I got immediately sick right after, like literally the same day. Within like 6 hours, I was down. And it sucked because I had to go to rehearsals and I was not in the mood. I was
No,
like,
thank you. No, thank you.
so I did my rehearsals. I was sick all week long, which is why, again, I have a hoarse voice. I feel like the hoarse voice just never goes away. Also, because on Thursday night, I was singing 112, and I sound a lot like Slim. At least I think so. And I was giving, but I strained my vocal cords so much. I was also drunk, but
Okay.
I was in the car and I was like, after the song finished, I'm like, I put the volume down. I'm like,
What song?
it's over now.
What is this? Numbers in your pocket.
One of my favorite songs.
I remember when you.
Other than that, I've been kind of good. I've been trying to work on my mental health. I started eating right and meal prepping again.
You're looking good, honey.
You know, today I'm bloated because I actually went out to breakfast and totally forgot I was eating right.
It be like that though. Like it really.
I didn't have a bad breakfast, but because I've been eating clean or cleaner, I think my body's just having a harder time to digest the breakfast. So I was like laying down all day, drinking my gallon of water. I had my lunch, which was like greens with ground turkey and broccoli. And I had like a shit ton of broccoli because I was like, I just want to get it out, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And it still hasn't. And it's not going to happen until after my workout tonight. But the way that food fucks your body up, like you just...
That's crazy because I was having that conversation earlier. I was like, I really love the fact that when I am on it, drinking my water, working out consistently. I mean, working out has not ever been the issue. It's the eating part for me. I love working out. But when I'm like on it and like, for some reason when the weekend comes, I'm like, oop, I don't got to worry about this. Yeah. Eating clean. I want pizza. Let me get some wings. And I love that my body. You saw me just orgasm. Yeah, I can't stand you. My body will literally tell me like, sis, cut the shit.
Slow it down.
Relax. Like I have to listen to my body.
But what it really is, and this is what I'm relearning, is the overeating that I've been doing. You know, because I'm not gonna deprive myself of food that I want. Right. I'm just going to learn. Like I have to relearn how to have it in moderation. And it sucks because the diet that I went back onto, well, not a diet, but the meal plan that I went back onto, was the first meal plan that I did when I got with my trainer. A very bland meal plan. Not because he didn't design it well, but because of the choices that I chose to eat. Yeah. And it takes a toll on you because, like, you know, yesterday we had a snow day. And I was like, I'm eating clean all day today. I'm not fucking around. I have no reason to eat dirty. I'm home. So I ate clean. And then I just was, at the end of the day, I was like, I'm not fully satisfied with how I ate today. Even though I looked great, I was so slim. I was going to the bathroom like every hour. Damn. Yeah, like it was pretty good. And then today to wake up and have that breakfast, and that breakfast is still sitting here. And I'm just like, damn, just get out of my body. But it is what it is. I have a 3-hour rehearsal tomorrow, so I'll sweat it out. It is what it is.
Not wrong.
But other than that, I've just been trying to really get my mental health, my physical health. I have a show in 4 weeks, and I'm not trying to be, you know, I'm trying to feel good on stage. I also have to wear heels, so if you've been seeing me post with my heels.
Oh, fun fact. So your girl gave up social media, buying anything outside of whatever I need at the grocery store, and I gave up chicken or meat again. Ooh, for the next 21 days.
I love that.
And yeah, so if you haven't been seeing me post, like people have been hitting me up like, yo, you good? Those who know. And the only person I forgot to tell was this one, and I told him today. I was like, yo, just by the way, because I'm the one that posts on the social media on Wednesdays when we go live, and I was like, you just like real quick, you're gonna have to.
So if the post is late, it's because I forgot.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll set a reminder to remind you to post.
The episode will be up. It's always up.
The episode will be posted on all the platforms and the visual.
But what's the whole point of giving all of this up?
Because I feel like the first time that I gave up, I just gave up meat and I wasn't eating after 6 when I was doing prayer and fasting. Okay. I gave myself 2 weeks. I went right back. I picked up another vice. So I gave up these things, but I picked up something else. And I wasn't, I was distracted by social media so much so that like I have to wean myself off of it because I went from like, oh, give up all these things. Now I'm spending mad time on social media. And I'm like, that wasn't the point, stupid. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to give myself these 2 weeks get my mind right, get ready, and we're gonna go into another one. We're gonna give it up for a little bit, and it was super easy to give up because like I had a friend of mine that was like, well, are you gonna make a video announcing that you're going on a break? I'm like, no one gives a fuck that I'm going on a break. I'm not announcing it. Like, social media does not pay me enough for me to give a fuck to let the general public know, hey guys, I'm taking a break from social media. I thought about creating a bunch of content and giving my password and username to my best friend and like having her upload for me, but even she doesn't really like being on social media, so I'm not gonna give her mine to be on mine to just post. And I'm just like, I'm not, fuck it, until social media starts cutting the check. I'm not, I don't believe I owe anybody an explanation as to why I like went ghost. But I do have a lot of ideas for content and stuff like that. But I'm just like, it's just nice that like when I get up, I'm like, oh, I don't have to go live on TikTok today.
But at the core, like what's the whole reasoning behind all of it?
The core, I, instead of dedicating time in prayer to prayer and fasting, I was just doing the fasting part and I wasn't doing the prayer part, and dedicating as much time to it as I should have. So that's what I'm working on. I'm a week in and I still don't feel like I'm doing any better in the prayer aspect. Like, yeah, I'll read a few chapters in the Bible, and like I'll read my book. Like there's books that I want to finish. But yesterday we had a snow day and I watched...
You vegged out?
No. Mommy cooked breakfast, but I made honey glazed salmon and I paired it with my eggs on a bagel. Yo, that shit was so good, mi gente. Tuesday I made cilantro like shrimp tacos. It was, mommy was like, what, you good? And I'm like, I just can't have my meals. I can't have my meals be boring. Like, that's the reason why I fall off of whatever. One, I don't like to cook. So I'm like, let me find really super easy. And because I'm like pescatarian right now, let me find super easy recipes. And I love fish for the simple fact that it cooks so fucking fast.
Yeah.
It cooks so fast. So I'm like, let me just...
Also, Market Basket has like really good prepped food, like warm foods. Yeah. And they have one with salmon. And wait a minute.
Dime.
Wait a minute. Tell me how I went on this date, right? When I went on the date, I ordered a salmon BLT and he was like, not salmon. And I was like, sometimes I say words that are weird.
Salmon,
but
salmon.
I said salmon and it came out like, I've always said salmon, but then like this dialect just came out of like salmon. I want salmon BLT, and like the shame that came with it.
He felt like super. Speaking of fucked up, mi gente, hold up. Can we talk about how I got up yesterday and I was opening with another manager, and I'm like, I'm waiting in my bed. Like, it's 6:45. I gotta be at work for 8. I haven't seen anything in the group chat about the weather. Are we gonna open? Like, what are we doing? Hear nothing. So I'm like, you know what? Just start getting ready, whatever, what have you. Obviously, just leave your phone on so that you can, get the message. No. So I dig my car out, start driving to work. So I'm trying to like keep my car's warmed up. We're good to go. I'm trying to see from my windshield, but the temperature drop was stupid. So because like the heat on my windshield was making it obviously melting the ice, but it was still turning into ice as I was driving because it was cold. Yeah. So it was sticking to my wipers, and it was un fucking cho. Why did I pull into the parking lot for our head manager to say, hey, we're closed. We're going to close today.
Peep. Because the communication in the workplace is what has me fucked up.
I don't think you guys understand how aggravated that made me. Yeah, it was easy to make the call when you don't have to come into work today because you weren't scheduled.
Did you say anything?
I literally was like, LOL, as I'm literally pulling in. Mind you, I was the one that hit the group chat to be like, so any update on what we're doing about closing, or if we're opening a delayed open or whatever? No. So right now it looks like we're going to be open. 8 o'clock hit, and I was already going to be late because the roads were so bad that I let them know. They were like, take your time. And I was like, that's exactly what I plan to do because I'm not speeding. Mi gente, I couldn't even get up. So I'm taking Broadway to go up to Salem. And I couldn't even get up the hill. So I actually had to reverse down the hill really slowly. And there was a cop behind me. I had to reverse really slowly, turn so I can go straight. And it took me longer to get to work because I had to make sure I took all like flat streets,
roads,
flat roads. So I ended up on Osgood Street. Well, I was still on Lawrence Street that turns into Osgood Street, and the cop it's another mini hill, but like so much so that like I wasn't gonna be able to get up it. So the cop gets out of his car, follows me, gets out of his car. I'm like, oh, I'm getting a ticket. Oh, this sucks. I'm heated. I'm ready to give this cop attitude because like if you're gonna give me a ticket, fuck it. I'm still gonna give you an attitude. Nope. He comes on. He was like, hey, I'm gonna stop traffic. I'm gonna have you reverse and just take this back road and go this way and then go up this street so that way you're good. And I was like, oh, thank you so much, officer. Look at you doing your job and shit. Looking out for the civil public. I was like, thanks, whatever. I was able to get to work again. It was like 8:03 when I got there, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're closed."
And this is why once Wednesday came around and I found out there was going to be a snowstorm, I took the initiative and told the front desk, I was like, "You're going to call all the clients that are coming in Friday and tell them we're doing virtual. I don't give a fuck what they say, because I know they're going to pull this shit last minute." Period.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, and that just like aggravated me because I was like, "Yo, the communication." Yeah, we need to clean that up because
it's super unfair.
It is unfair. I still had to get up early. And then I feel bad from the other manager that lives further out. It took her 45 minutes to get to work. It normally only takes me 8 minutes to get to work. So the fact that it took me 25, roads were pretty bad. And then on top of that, I left my house at 7:40 and I have to be at work till 8. And I was still 5 minutes late. So like, which is fine, whatever. But getting home, I didn't get home till like 8:45. I had to stop 2 times because the ice kept clumping onto my windshield wipers, and I just couldn't. Liquid. Bro, everything was frozen. Everything was frozen, so I couldn't. There was nothing I could do about it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop. And then the final stop, I was like, all right, I'm close enough to home where I can get home, but like I'm not leaving my house again. And then the gag, I was like, ooh, so the road should be clear by like 7:00 tonight. I'm gonna go to the gym.
No.
I don't know why I didn't process. Maybe I should call to see if they're open. Probably because when I worked for them for a year, we never fucking closed during a snowstorm. So I just assumed we were open. Why the one fucking time motherfuckers closed, I ain't call the gym and I get there and I'm like, it's closed.
I did not leave my house at all
upset.
yesterday.
So basically God was telling me, girl, sit your ass at home. Don't leave. And that's it. So that was that. Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all, let's wrap this up. Let's head over to our next section, which is
Aye Bendito.
All right, y'all, welcome back. This is Aye Bendito, the part of the show where we go through media headlines, local headlines, and give you some of our feedback.
Okay. So we're just going to start it off with, Russia and Ukraine. Shit is getting serious. Like, I was talking to some people at work, and I guess some of their friends were telling them, like, yo, you should probably start taking out cash, and you need to fill up your gas tank, like, ASAP. And I don't know how
much.
Gas
is going up $4 this week.
I'm sick.
And it's already gone up because when I first got my car, it took
was like
me $22 to fill it. Now it's $30 to fill it.
Yep.
And now it's going to be $34.
My car wasn't even on E the other day. It was like a little bit below
I don't
half.
understand gas. I don't.
It was a little bit below half, and it took me $32 to fill it. And I was like, it used to take me $25 to fill the whole tank when it was on E. I'm sick, mi gente. I'm sick.
Know, what I do with my gas is I had reset it like midsummer. I had like a quarter tank left, and I reset it so that I can go to 0. So that I always have a quarter tank.
What?
The gauge. You can reset it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that it could drop, and then you put gas again.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. I get it, but like I don't at the same time. So it's like
but anyways, Russia.
But yeah, so I get. And
Russia's wilding out here.
I guess our banks are somehow, I don't know the logistics, but something about our banks being, Russian or something. I don't know. But I'm like, yo, what is going on? And then food? I didn't realize how much the price of food has gone up until I went to do a mini compra. And when I say mini compra, I literally did like all of 8 items. And I was like, this normally would have costed me like $15, $18. Why is this $30? And my mom just said the same thing. She got like 5 bags of groceries.
The food has been going up.
Well, due to the fact that like no one's working. There's no one that wants to ship it. There's still things sitting in docks. There's literal, guys, I found this out. There's literal boats sitting in the middle of the ocean because there's nowhere for them to come into the ports because no one's come to collect or nobody wants to pay to ship the casing or whatever it comes back.
You know, going towards the pay is like America needs to realize like you want your people to work, you got to pay them more.
Exactly.
Especially when rent in this city alone, like a 1-bedroom is 15 to 16. The 1,200 even just is no longer around. And you know, Russia, I don't know if this is true, and I have to look at a map, but supposedly Russia and Alaska are like neighbors. Like they like you can see Russia from the tip of Alaska. Type shit. So I was like, oh shit. They can just walk right over.
LOL. That's a kayak ride. That's a Sunday.
No, it's literally like you can stand at the tip of Alaska and see like a piece of land that connects you to Russia.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, like, given where Alaska is on the map or whatever.
I was like,
how
wow.
we claim that, I still don't get it. It makes more sense for them to be with Canada, but whatever. U.S., we a bunch of
I just don't want us
I don't
to
want,
fully
like,
get involved.
No, literally, because
the thing about me is that I ain't fighting no war.
Isn't it like Russia, China, and one other country or continent are, like, in cahoots? And then they were just like, oh, we see the Ukraine. Oh, we're just going to go in there. We're just going to take it. Whatever. They bombed the Ukraine airport. Like Biden was telling U.S. citizens, if you're there, come home now. I don't know to what extent.
Which to me feels like a cop-out because it's like if you're going to live in the Ukraine, then suffer with the Ukraine.
Yo, be like, we'll take you back. But
don't be like, oh, I'm so privileged I can go back home. You know, because not everybody can go home.
But yeah, so, and then, like, one of my coworkers was talking to me about how, like, if a president isn't doing the best, you go to war so that you basically get the people's vote. Like, you get people. And I'm just like, no one wants to go to war. Like, what are you talking about? We were just in a war for 20 years that we had no business being in. We just came home. Like, I'm so confused. I don't get it. I don't understand. You know what I mean? But it's like, I mean.
If you draft me, I'm quitting.
Is that still a thing?
Oh, it's very much still a thing. And I'm still in age.
Oh, shit.
It's up until 35.
I'm sick right now.
And I'm like, bitch, I have back pain right now, like from a dance rehearsal. You want me to go out there and do what?
Yeah, it's going to be a no for me, dog.
But actually, you know what? I was about to say some crazy shit. Never mind. Never mind.
So that's still a thing. If you don't know what's going on, I'm still not even fully versed on what is going on. I just hear bits and pieces, but I know that it's escalating very, very
And it's
quickly.
all over, like, it's all over TikTok. Videos are coming out. Like, they're really dropping bombs over there. It's really,
someone was like, before you draft me, maybe draft some of the women that actually signed up for this shit.
I think
I was weak.
When it comes down to like trying to go to war, I understand what America's doing, but it's kind of like we're letting the sanctions that we're calling is like we're letting Russia do its thing, and that is where everyone's like, we're gonna go to war. Like this is gonna be World War III, possibly. And I just feel like this world, if you haven't noticed these past few years, shit has just been hitting the fan.
Y'all better start reading y'all Bible.
And we're in a whole different thing right now. This earth is ghetto. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I was driving the other day.
Millennials have not had a fucking break. We have been going through it since the turn of the new millennium.
And I was on the phone and I was like, I think I see like, cause there was something in the sky, like it was dark. And there was something in the sky like going super freaking fast, like not like an airplane, like just super fast with like 2 blinking lights. And I was like,
it was like an Air Force craft.
I was like, is this a motherfucking UFO? Like, I'm ready to go. And my friend's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, if it is, I'm ready to go. Like, take me. I'm good. And then we got into this whole conversation about how she's like, I won't survive in space. I'm barely making it here. And I'm like, I'll be good. Like, I will adapt. I will learn your ways. I'm ready to go. Point blank, period. Other than that, and we want to send our prayers out to Ukraine.
For sure.
And all those people in Russia who don't want to fight and unfortunately have to be a part of this because you live where you live. Other than that, let me see if this is...
Is COVID still a thing? I just have questions. Is that still a thing?
The three police officers from George Floyd's case were found guilty.
Let's go.
So that was good news. And it happened the day before, I think, or on the day of George Floyd's anniversary, or something like that, or his birthday. Something like that, something along those lines. So, rest in power now.
Right.
What else? You're not on social media, so right now this is all on me, and all my
No.
stuff are loading.
I really don't know what's going on in the world right now. Like that's
Kanye West. Kanye West is
Oh.
going absolutely crazy. I'm not feeling it. I don't
What's going on
understand
now?
it. The fragile masculinity is just a no for me. Like Kanye, obviously Kim Kardashian wants a divorce, and Pete Davidson.
Aren't they not divorced yet?
No, because unfortunately, in order to get a divorce, both parties have to agree, and Kanye West is not agreeing.
Oh, okay.
And this is why I will never get married, because of shit like this. Because you don't know, like, when Kanye West, when they got married, probably wasn't a great headspace. He's not in a great headspace right now, and I think that the things that he's doing and the trolling that he's doing, I'm like, let's act our age. You're a grown man. You're somebody's father now. You're not, just Kanye West. And to be out here and doing all of this to this poor lady, like, I'm great. Granted, Kim Kardashian has her skeletons in her closet, but nobody deserves what this man is doing.
Right.
And so, the same thing with Pete Davidson. Like, this poor guy is just trying to date, and people are sending him death threats. I'm like, and y'all Kanye fans, y'all are so fucking delusional.
The way y'all are enabling him, like that's wild.
So
to me.
delusional. Other than that, with COVID, they're lifting a lot of mask mandates. And I don't know about y'all, but somebody on the radio said something that was very clear to me. And they said they're lifting the mask mandates, but doesn't mean you don't need to wear them anymore. And I think people forget that. I think people, are so caught up in this news and not understanding that your health, they cannot predict your health. Like, you need to wear your mask if you're still going to be in a public place. Whether they say yes or no, that should still be your standard, because COVID is very much still out here doing its goddamn thing. And, like, it's living.
Not that Patrick Star.
It's doing what it needs to do, and it ain't worried about you, your grandmother, your family. It ain't worried. It ain't worried. It's thriving, as she should.
Worried. Yeah, I finally got my second dose. Your girl is finally vaccinated or whatever. It's not that I didn't want to get vaccinated. It's just like my jobs weren't requiring it. So I'm like, why even bother?
Yeah.
I wear my mask when I go into stores. Like,
Oh, now my job is requiring the booster, which is why I got the booster. And funny, because when I went to get the booster and I saw my records on the MassGov website, actually I was 4 days shy of my first dose. So last year, February 25th, I got my first dose. And I was like, wow, this is pretty crazy. It's been a year being vaccinated, and I will do what I need to do to make sure I got a check coming, period.
LOL. Yeah, no. So that was the thing. The only thing that really happened to me was I just got super tired. I wasn't fatigued because like after my shot, I went to the gym, did a whole freaking workout, heavy lifting. I was fine. The next day I got up. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm thinking like, oh, I'm just tired because I just woke up. No. I progressively throughout the day got like slower. It was like my motor skills were off. Like I'm doing things, but I'm like, why is this taking me so long? This would normally take me like 10 to 15 minutes. It took me like a half hour to 45 minutes to complete tasks at work. And I told one of my managers, like after I went home on my lunch break, because I get an hour. I went home, took some Advil, ate like a full meal, and then it was like maybe 45 minutes after that I was like, oh, okay, I feel better now. Like I needed a solid meal, and I just needed like pain meds. Like I'm just like, yo, what's going on? And I was able to get to the rest of my day. I felt better. And I had let my boss know. She said, you could have told me you could have went home. And I was like, yeah, but it was one of those things that was like mind over matter. Like, I'm like, I can get through this. Like, I wasn't dying. I was just like, everything was just slow. Like, they tell me to do something. I'll be like, okay. And then like, I felt like a fucking sloth the next day. Like, that's what it was. But the next day I picked it right back up. I was fine. So it didn't affect me.
To get as sick as I did.
It didn't affect me the way it affected a lot of people. They were like, "Oh damn!" They were like, "If you didn't feel it the first shot, you're probably gonna feel it the second shot." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I was prepared for it.
For the vaccine, the first shot and second shot, I didn't feel nothing. This booster, I wasn't expecting anything, which is why I scheduled it when I scheduled it. And the lady at CVS was hella fucking rude. Fuck you, bitch. Period. And then literally I left rehearsals and I was just in my car and I felt like this. My sinuses just swell up and I was like, how Sway, I've been doing so good, how did I get sick again? And my mom was like, you're always sick.
No,
and
I feel like you really are. You have like a 2 week period where you're not and then you're sick again.
But to be fair, I'm always out in these streets. See
how he took accountability for that? Like, I can't wonder why I'm sick when I really be out in the club still.
I really do. And listen, give me a little cold, bitch. We twerking. We good.
Anyways, that's what we got for Aye Bendito.
We're not taking a break anymore. The gag, I'll tell you guys in Reposar. But let's head over to our next section, which is
Caldero Talk.
All right, welcome back, mi gente. We are going to get into Caldero Talk, which is the part of the show where we're going to give you all the nitty gritty, dissect and discuss our favorite topic.
And I think this episode's topic is a little different for us.
It is going to be a little different for us because it's going to be one of those that we're going to work through as we're talking to you guys with each other. And this week's episode is going to be Your Path is Yours. Damn, I like that.
That's good. That's good.
I mean?
You know, a lot of the times, like in the first 2 seasons, I want to say, we had a structure, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how we came up with these sections. And we would like go on and type everything out.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I think now we're more
seasoned
where we can trust ourselves to come on this mic and feel a little bit more confident and like free flowing.
Yeah.
Which I like more because it's not so like
restricting.
And I hate that whole structure of it. I like listening to people just talk shit because when I'm driving, like I want to hear people just shooting the shits. Like it's calling it a day.
Yeah. So we would literally have it laid out. Like if there was something that I had to look up, like a statistic, I would go do the research on it, and we.
Which for some episodes it still calls.
It still works.
But today is not that episode.
It's not that episode. It's not. This season, we're not that show. We're not that show right now. We've evolved. And I think it's just like, honestly, because we go bi-weekly now, it's like us catching up, and like 9 times out of 10 when we're catching up, we realize we're both going through the same thing. And Ruben and I don't talk every day. We literally talk the day before we're supposed to meet. Yo, you good for 5?
Well,
you good for 5?
Part of that is because we literally live a big portion of our life both on social media.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know,
I'll like comment like LMAO, you ain't shit,
right,
like whatever. We'll send each other stuff, key in the DMs. But like it's never like extensive. But when we sit down and we really start to like dissect and discuss like how the last 2 weeks have been for us, a lot of the time there's a commonality and a theme between the two of us. And right now for today, it's like your path is yours. It's nobody else. It's no one else's story but yours. What you do with it is what you do with it.
That's so funny.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's funny because like today I was sitting down and I saw the sun peek through my window and I started doing some selfies. But I took a moment to kind of like look out the window, look at the sun and let that vitamin D hit. And I was telling myself like, where are you in your life? Because with trying to get back on the weight loss, get back on a better mental health tip, I think it's important to reflect on where things probably went wrong, or where your mind was during certain time periods in your life, and remember that you're either no longer there or you are there. But if you are there, remembering when you were not there. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people wake up with this mentality of like, tomorrow I'm gonna start. I'm a Monday bitch, but I hate a Monday bitch because it's like, the whole waiting for Monday, like, you gotta take that out of you. Like, you gotta just start, like, this whole eating clean thing, like, it literally started midday. I literally was like, I can't even work today because I'm just thinking so much about eating clean. Like, I don't know what's coming over me. I told my boss, I'm like, I'm leaving early. I'm going to work from home, yada, yada, yada. I went to the grocery store, went home, cooked. And I was like, I got to do my thing. Like, I want to feel good about my body. So I need to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. And if I don't do it right now, granted, you don't always have that luxury to just get up and leave your job. But I think just understanding like timing and process and just having a clear understanding of like, if you wait till Monday, there's so many things that can happen from today till Monday that will just throw you off track. If you just start right now, even if you get thrown off track, you did something, you know, and it's easier to get back on track, at least for me.
I feel that.
And I feel like it kind of ties in with this, where back to what I was saying, I was looking out the window and I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, how did you get here? Are you happy with your life? Are you happy with where you're going? You know, and trying to envision where I want to be a year from now. And I'm very heavy on this right now because financially, I'm going to be in a better place. I did a whole crazy budget plan. I have an Excel document in my Google Drive where I just like wrote everything down. I'm catching up on all my finances, like all these months of like being broke and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I'm tired of it. And there's no reason for it. Cause you don't, you know what? Cause you want to go out every week. Like the club's always going to be there, babes. You'll be fine. You know? So it's like, I've been kind of just in the mentality of like, how am I going to get to the next level? And in order to get there, I have to go through it. And right now I'm going through it. And that's right now my path. And sometimes it sucks. Some days I wake up and I'm super fucking emotional about it because I'm just like, damn, like, you know, my car's not starting. I have to start my battery myself. And like so many things in my life that I just want to change. And I'm like, but you're going through it. And if you stay focused and if you write down your goals, you can absolutely get there. And I see it. It's already slowly starting to happen. And it hurts. It hurts. But remember that you are the reason why you are in the situation, period.
Growing pains. Yeah, I definitely, I feel that for sure. And going off of that, it's funny because I was, so on my, you know what, this is just me now, guys. I'm sorry. We're going to keep referencing God because that's where I'm at right now. I have the YouVersion Bible app and I do a guided prayer every day. So like so I don't always know what to pray about, how to pray, or feel like I'm doing it right. So on the app, it'll say like pray now. So I'll click on that and then it'll say like, this is your time with God. Tell him what it is that you need to tell him, blah, blah, blah. Then it has like, it'll have like a piece of scripture and then like a prompt. And it's just prompting you to have a conversation. And one of the things was, you know, what in your life right now, do you want to give to God, and what do you want to thank him for? And where do you see yourself going? And I really sat with that. I was sitting there like in my room and I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. Like I've been learning to accept being here. I feel like because of social media and the fast pace, how fast it's growing and things like that, we're so quick to want to get there. Or, you know, if I could just make this much, or if I can just be here, if I could just go on this vacation, if I could just show, if I just have this title in front of my name, if I just have this if I just have this degree, like we're trying to live in the future, but we're neglecting now. And then it's like when you get there, how many people have you met that said, I wish I would have enjoyed the process instead of how quickly can I get to the outcome? You know what I mean? So I'm really learning to enjoy here before I get there. There's going to happen regardless. There is going to come. Here, how do I cultivate an environment that I want to be in here right now and not comparing my journey or my path to anyone else? That's why we want to stress, like, your path is yours. It don't got shit to do with you. It has everything to do with you and nothing to do with them. So let go of them and what they're going to think. When I think about when I first quit my job and I resigned from my position, how I'm like, oh my God, like, what are they going to think? Like, I'm no longer a director. Like it was almost like my worth was held in that title. But I wasn't happy. And I actually look forward to going to work now. I enjoy the job that I do now. And I haven't had that in a while, but it's because I switched my mindset to enjoy where I am right now instead of what is it going to look like when I get there. You know, I haven't been anywhere long enough to become and grow professionally to even see what my potential can be, because the moment that something pisses me off, I'm like, man, I can get another job. And it's like, it's cool if that's what you want to do, because you're like, this isn't really what I do, but I know that in this life I have to sustain myself and I have needs and there are things that need to be paid. That's cool. For me personally, I'm just like, I was walking around with my ego like, oh, I'm a director, oh, like I'm in charge of this, I've been in charge of that. And to have to sit with that and like, pride and ego, them bitches will kill you. Them bitches will stop you from reaching your full potential unless you get out of your own fucking way. Get your head out of your ass. Get your head out of your ass. You know what I mean? And it was like me having to humble myself in that aspect. I'm very humble in other aspects of my life, but professionally, I was like, I had a big ego professionally. So when I finally got to like bring that down and humble myself there, I was able to excel professionally. And now I got a promotion because I was able to say, you know what? Humble yourself enough to do what you need to do to get to the next level, and it's going to show. And God's going to bless you with the next step. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what happened. And it took me 2.5 months to get promoted because I humbled myself. I did the groundwork, and then I only went one level up, but I'm no longer on the level that I was at. Everybody wants to level up to the top. Elevators, they ping one at a time. They don't go from one shoot all the way up. No, you're gonna watch it hit each level. You know what I mean? And that's how I had to think about it. Like when we think about leveling up, everyone's like, oh, we're gonna go from 0 to 100, like an overnight sensation. But it's like,
it's called being an extremist, and it doesn't work.
Overnight sensations don't last long. They have to continue. Now there's more going on. I want there to be longevity in, let's say I continue with social media. I want there to be longevity in it. I don't want it to be like, oh, she was hot for like that second and then it died down. No, I want it to continue to grow. When I think about certain social media influencers like B. Simone, I don't give a fuck what y'all say about B. Simone. I love me some B. Simone. I love me some B. Simone. She's so transparent. Like I'm
so happy you're saying that because not a lot of people give this woman credit.
I love how she.
Have you ever sat down and watched like her YouTube series?
No, I have not.
If you ever have the time, literally go on YouTube and watch from episode 1. She's on like episode 40 something now. I watch every week. This woman, like, she literally documented her come up. Like, documented it from scratch. And, like, during the pandemic, that's when I was put onto this. And I was like, yo, like, that made me believe so much that the path that I'm on, I'm going to get there. Because if this girl can make it the way that she made it, literally packed up her bag. Same story that we all have, like, literally, and not give a fuck. Just, she's been a millionaire. And, now she's where she's at. So I recommend it for anyone.
Yeah. So I thoroughly, like, again, but I don't know too much of her story, but I remember from when I first got put onto her years ago to where she is now, she's not the same person. And again, I'm not saying like follow
elevation
her every
requires
move,
separation.
that part. And growing pains, like you said, it hurts because there's things that you want to do, but in order to reach there, right now, what are you doing now to make sure that you get there, but still remaining in the moment and, surrounding yourself with individuals that understand that mindset. Period. You know what I mean? Like, I probably rock with all of 3 people right now on some real shit. And like, I'm honestly, even 3 is too much for me to say right now. Like, I'm in this like uncomfortable space where I'm working on myself in many aspects to like, I have tunnel vision. Like, I'm just like, yo, I go to work, I go to the gym, I'm making sure I'm eating right. And I'm just making sure that I'm preparing and remaining here and right now in this moment to prepare for what it is that's next. Every day I get home from work and I self-reflect and I'm like, all right, God, we got through another day, but wherever you want to take me, show me what it is that you want for me. And it's no longer like like, what are they gonna think? There's no they. My circle's so fucking small. There's no they for me to care right now. So it's all up to like me and what it is that I want to do. And I think this is the most like free I've felt because I think I put myself in this box of, no, society's box. I was trying to follow society's rules. And when I finally broke out of that, I'm like, oh, I literally can design this life to be any which way that I want it to be. I'm not defined by my degree. I'm not defined by the job title that I have. I'm not defined by the family that I come from. I'm defining myself. And right now, my definition of me, I'm the daughter of the Most High, baby. So there's really nothing you could tell me that is gonna break that or shake me right now, because I'm designing what it is that I want my life to look like. And the fact that I'm putting God first in it, it feels that much better. And I feel that much more at peace with where I'm going in my path. And I'm not comparing it to the next person. I could give a damn about what my sisters are doing. I genuinely, when I tell y'all, I don't care, and I'm not competing with anybody. There's no competition. Once you removed that, once I removed that, once you remove that, a weight is going to come off your shoulders. And it's like, people, like I said, people keep telling me I'm glowing. I look good. Like, you look different. I can't tell you the amount of times I've been told, oh my God, you're glowing. Oh my, like, there's something different about you. I started moving different. I realized I realized that I was the prize, and I raised my price.
Period.
You know what I mean?
I think it's something that you mentioned is like paying attention to other people. I think a lot of people live in this mentality of like, I gotta impress my friends. I gotta do these things. And I like to sit back and watch. I like to sit back and watch certain individuals and see the way that they move. And I'm like, like you have my own opinions. I think that I remind myself, like, when I was in my 20s, I really was about that shit. Like, I really was about, like, making sure that people knew that I was a dancer, when you see me, you knew that I was a dancer. My body had to look right. Everything that I was doing had to, make it seem on social media like if I was in New York and I was dancing and living this life. And then when I turned, like, 27, and the life that I was wanting to live was not the life I was living. And I was just like, whoa.
Kind of like a fake it till you make it.
Whoa. You know what I'm saying? I had to sit down with myself after months of depression and just tell myself, like, this was at the beginning of 2019. I was like, yo, this ain't working, bro. This ain't working. Like, none of this is working. You need to go back home, humble yourself. Okay? Take a chill pill, humble yourself, and figure out what it is that you want to do. And when I did that, this came, the podcast came, and
I feel like Ruben and I's path crossed. There's a purpose for a reason as to why you cross paths when it comes to like friendships or whatever. Like, again, you guys know that we're cousins, but we have two different views, and we were raised differently within our families, and I feel like we both had that like aha moment around the same time, which is how the two of us ended up together. And like I said, listen to season 1 and listen to us now. We literally sound like two different individuals. It's wild.
I mean, we even look like two different individuals. Yeah. I think, the journey of doing this, and the biggest thing that I will always take away from this podcast is like, I learned so much about myself, and I learned so much through the stories that you've shared, through the experiences that we've brought to, it wasn't, that's what taught me, like, it's not what anybody's saying. Like, there hasn't been one person that was like, your podcast is great, this and that, and I was like, yeah, like, oh my God, like, that changed my life. Because when I tell people, like, I started podcasting because I needed to speak. I needed to get some shit out of my head, whether it was stupid, whether I sound dumb. I needed to be vulnerable. I needed to be understanding of my troubled past, and I'm getting goosebumps. My troubled past is not who I'm going to be in the future. Like, I am not a victim of that no more. And moving forward, like, that's why I do so many things. And like, people are like, you're always going live and you're not doing anything. I'm like, right. Because I'm a regular person. And if that's my brand and that's what's going to get it, then that's what's going to get it. But limiting myself to be like, I can only go live when I'm dancing, or I can only post TikToks of me, limiting myself to this box creates this mentality of like, if I'm not always doing this, I'm not going to be happy. And that is tough. Like, it's tough. And I see so many people in that mentality of like, well, I said, I told the world that I was a model, but I don't ever do photo shoots, and so I don't post on social media. And I'm like, you know how many happy moments you can be sharing? Like, social media, yes, it has its good and its bad.
I think that's where like that whole like find your niche, whatever, really hinders a lot of creatives, because it's like, oh, you got 5 million views on this one video where you did this thing. Now it's like, oh, you're the person that does that. So then your videos have to keep. I don't have that. I don't have like my niche.
But I think that's because you have an identity outside of social media.
Exactly.
And I think that a lot of people who have this platform haven't done the work on their own to find that identity. And for a while, like, that's where I'm at, where it's like, I want to be me all the way through. If it's funny, it's funny. If it's a podcast I'm posting, it's a podcast I'm posting. If it's music I like, if it's, whatever it is, I want it to reflect on my social media. Mm-hmm. And like, because for me, social media is what I see as like a tool. It's going to help me.
I can genuinely say who I am on social media is exactly who I am in real life. For sure.
Period.
Same for, I would say the same exact
I think
thing
you can see the clarity in that, and it's not just about social media, but it's about more so knowing who you are in life in order to walk through your path. And I think that it took some time to figure out who the fuck is Rue, to then understand, like, I am not that person. I know a lot of people have this negative image of me, of me being trouble, me being this. But it's not that I was trouble, and it's not that I was anything. It's not that I was petty or anything.
You were lost.
Yes, I was lost. But one thing you will always get from me is I'm going to speak my fucking truth, and I'm going to speak my mind. And if I don't like something, I will speak up about it. And if you don't like that, then I don't want to work with yes people. I don't want to work with people who just want to sit back and be like, that sounds great. I don't have to do anything. Like, no. And that's always been like when it comes to dance and stuff.
And that's not to say he's like super rude about when he's like, no. Like I've said things to Ruben and he's like, yeah, no. And I'm like, I respect that. Like,
I've learned. I used to be very cutthroat and but that's the energy I was always given. So when I always felt, this is true, I always felt like when I treated people the way that they treated me, it was received in a way that was like, so like, you're toxic, and that's why for a while I hated that pointing of the finger of like, you're toxic, you're this. And I'm like, I would look at other people and I'm like, but you're quick to treat people like shit. But the minute I do it to you, I'm toxic. And for a while,
it's a victim mentality though. You don't have a victim mentality. And
for a while it was that. And I had to grow out of all of that shit. And now I know how to communicate. Am I always a good communicator? Absolutely not. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Am I still fucking broken all day, every day? I rep it. I will always be broken, but I'm going to continue to do the work that I need to do. And I don't think I'm broken. I think there's just missing pieces that I need to put together. And certain, you got to do the work. I feel like another thing people don't do is the work. You got to do the work.
I feel like some of y'all really think that someone goes from 0 to 100. And maybe that might be the case for someone who goes viral one time. Okay. But you don't know how many years they've been doing certain things. You don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, late nights.
Today I literally said to myself, I'm like, I want to do a documentary. I want to do a documentary. What that looks like, I don't know. But the random thought popped into my head and I was like, one thing I've always told myself is I have a story to tell. And I know so many young gay people can relate to the fucking life that I've lived. From everything. And if you know me, I'm adventurous. I'm this, I'm that. I throw myself wherever. I move wherever. I have no limits. Life is yours to live. That's how I see it. Life is yours to live. Why stick around for something? Like, if you want to travel the world, do what you need to do and travel the world. And that's where I'm at. Like, I don't know where I'm moving to in a year. I know that in a year I'm moving. I don't know where. I haven't decided where. It could be Los Angeles. It could be fucking Thailand. It could be wherever. My first thing that I told myself is like, at the end of this year, you're going to have 10K in that bank account. When you have that 10K, yes, it will go quick, period. But you will be able to move forward. And then from that 10K next year, let's bump it up. Let's move another 10K into here. Let's see what we can get at. And like, it's just having these goals, and this is the way I'm going to find my path. And I no longer want to plan shit. I no longer want to live in this mentality of like, I'm moving to LA in a year, I'm moving to New York in a year, I'm moving to this in a year. I'm just going to do what the fuck makes me happy, because as we can see right now, like, tomorrow really is not promised.
It's not. Yeah.
It's not. So it's like, why live trying to impress everyone else when what you need to do is live to impress yourself?
Do you like who you see when you wake up?
Do
every
you
morning?
like who you are to other people? Because you're so concerned with how other people are with you. Do you like the way that you treat other people? Let's sit there. Let's cut it right there. But just sit with those thoughts in mind, because in order to move forward, like I said earlier, in order to get there, I have to go through it. I can't skip it anymore. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So, yeah.
I think just our overall message is like just understanding that here right now is where you're supposed to be. I think
when I am with
I used to say I was born in the wrong era. I said it all the time. Like, I'm born in the wrong era. Like, there's no way. And I'm like, yo, God didn't make no mistake. There's a specific reason why you are right here, right now, in the generation that you're in the time period that you're like, just there's a reason for that, you know? And I think we spend so much time trying to impress other people that we neglect finding our true purpose. And like, I'm trying to learn to do things that like, if I'm fearful of it, I probably should do it. If it's legal. We're not doing illegal shit over here. But like, if I get a rise out of it and I keep thinking about it and it's making me fear it, I probably should lean into it and dig more into why that is and see how I can get to that. If that makes any sense. I've been saying this in season 1. When it feels scary to jump, that's when you're supposed to jump.
Yep.
I really have been saying
But that really has been your journey. Because even when we started this girl was scared. This girl was scared to speak up about certain things. She was scared. This woman was scared to really to speak a certain way. This is how Nina was. She was afraid. You know, she was like, yo, you cursed. And I'm like, yeah, fuck out of here. Yeah, this is me. And she was like, I don't know. And now we're here. You know, we've heard throughout the seasons the changes. But I mean,
I'll still deliver the message.
She was scared to jump.
But it's going to be a little saucy.
You know?
Yeah. And it's been quite a journey. We started this 2 years ago. This is 2 years worth of growth. And some of it is conscious and a decision that we made. And some of it is subconscious and just naturally happened, naturally took its course. And we are here now. So stop comparing your journey to other people and make sure that you like who you are. I could probably sit back and say, I wish there was another one of me because I need more friends like me, because I know how I treat people and how I love.
You know your value.
And I know exactly. And I know my value.
That's like what I always tell people.
Can you really sit back and say, I would be friends with me? Would you be friends with yourself? If the answer is no, baby, you got some work to do.
And that's why I always tell people is like, I know my value. I know what I bring to the table. Honey, I am the table. That's how it works. Is that always a good thing? Absolutely not, because sometimes the table is left dirty. But
ooh, a whole word.
You gotta sometimes, you gotta rock
clean
with it. But anyways, let's wrap this up and head over to our last section, which is
A Reposar.
Welcome back, y'all. The last section of the show, Reposar. We do have some announcements that I will be announcing towards the end. So please make sure you're tuning in all the way through. You want to start off and leave us on a positive note?
I feel like I said it earlier, but I forgot what I said. But anyways, so with the topic being your path is your own, you are the author of your own life, and you haven't written the final copy yet. You can scrap that and start over. And even if you finish something, you still have the luxury of starting something new. There's always a series. If you want your life to be a series, let it be a series. Rewrite the story for yourself and make sure that it's a story that you'd be proud to tell.
I would say choose to be yourself, because everyone else is already taken. So stop living in the shadow of other people, of your friends, of whatever it may be. Be you, do what you do.
That time that you lost a spelling bee in 8th grade, let it go.
Isn't that like a commercial? Like, be you, do what you do. Isn't that like a Mountain Dew commercial from the 90s or something?
I don't know.
Anyways, I'm aging myself. So we are announcing subscribers. So we can we are now accepting subscribers on our Anchor platform. And what what you will get is some exclusive episodes that will not be released to the public, will only be released to our subscribers. So if you want to sign up for that, hit the link in our bio of our IG, click the Anchor page, and you can become a subscriber for a whopping $1.99 a month. What does $1.99 a month get you? A free episode, an exclusive episode at that, and possibly, you know, we're going to figure something out there. We're going to figure something out. Yeah. We're starting off, you know, obviously all funds raised help us to pay for rent and you know, the equipment and stuff. And so we want to level up the brand, and this is a great way to help. And if you guys are still rocking with us and been rocking with us from day one, got the merch, you know, we went through the merch phase, you got your merch, you know, we're still here for it, and we're still here to give you guys that great content. Just subscribe today and help a shorty out. Other than that, if anybody's watching and you are new to SofritoSpeaks, we do offer commercial placement on our show. We will make your own commercial for you for 30 seconds and place it in between the show. So if you're interested, hit up the DM. Make sure that you're ready to have the conversation.
And we don't work for free anymore. That was seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4. Season 5, baby, it comes at a cost now.
Yeah, commercial placement.
Humbly.
And let me just let you know, we can show you the analytics. It's getting plays. So if you have a brand and you are interested, and that's not to be cocky, that's to be confident, then let us know. Shoot us up in the DM. Well, don't shoot us up in the DM.
LOL.
But hit the DM and we can definitely work on something for you. Let us know. On that note, my name is Rosales and I'm blasting off.
And I'm Nina Montañez. Stay blessed, mi gente.
Oh,
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Sofrito Speaks.
make sure you follow us on Instagram at SofritoSpeaks to keep up with all of our latest content.